Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. Several of his submissions were rejected by publishers. The feeling of patient, submissive humbleness. The act of submitting, usually surrendering power to another. A legal document summarizing an agreement between parties in a dispute to abide by the decision of an arbiter. An agreement between parties in a dispute to abide by the decision of an arbiter. Law. A contention presented by a lawyer to a judge or jury as part of the case he is arguing. The condition of having submitted to control by someone or something else. The union was brought into submission. A written record of a commercial transaction. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. The act of entering. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. An item inserted in a written record. The feeling of patient, submissive humbleness. A disposition to be patient and long-suffering. A disposition or tendency to yield to the will of others. The act of submitting, usually surrendering power to another. Acting according to certain accepted standards. The state of being contented with your situation in life. He relaxed in sleepy contentedness. The amount that can be contained. What a communication that is about something is about. Satisfied or showing satisfaction with things as they are. A contented smile. The sum or range of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. Usually plural. Everything that is included in a collection and that is held or included in something. He emptied the contents of his pockets. Make content. I am contented. Satisfy in a limited way. He contented himself with 1 glass of beer per day. The proportion of a substance that is contained in a mixture or alloy etc. What a communication that is about something is about. A communication, usually brief, that is written or spoken or signaled. He sent a 3-word message. Send a message. Send a message to. She messaged the committee. Send as a message. She messaged the final report by fax. What a communication that is about something is about. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Considerable capital, wealth or income. The idea that is intended. What a communication that is about something is about. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A particular kind or species of matter with uniform properties. Shigella is one of the most toxic substances known to man. Material of a particular kind or constitution. The immune response recognizes invading substances. The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists. DNA is the substance of our genes. The state of being humble and unimportant. A disposition to be humble, a lack of false pride. A humble feeling. A disposition to be humble, a lack of false pride. Not everyone regards humility as a virtue. A humble feeling. He was filled with humility at the sight of the Pope. Action taken by a group of people. A legal document summarizing the agreement between parties. The statement, oral or written, of an exchange of promises. They had an agreement that they would not interfere in each other's business. Compatibility of observations. There was no agreement between theory and measurement. The thing arranged or agreed to. Harmony of people's opinions or actions or characters. The two parties were in agreement. The determination of grammatical inflection on the basis of word relations. The verbal act of agreeing. The statement, oral or written, of an exchange of promises. There was an understanding between management and the workers. The capacity for rational thought or inference or discrimination. An inclination to support or be loyal to or to agree with an opinion. I knew I could count on his understanding. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. He has virtually no understanding of social cause and effect. Characterized by understanding based on comprehension and discernment and empathy. An understanding friend. A contentious speech act. A dispute where there is strong disagreement. The act of competing as for profit or a prize. The teams were in fierce contention for first place. A point asserted as part of an argument. The procedure that is varied in order to estimate a variable's effect by comparison with a control condition. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. A state at a particular time. A condition, or state, of disrepair. Usually plural, a statement of what is required as part of an agreement. The contract set out the conditions of the lease. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. Information that should be kept in mind when making a decision. A mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing. The human condition. An illness, disease, or other medical problem. A heart condition. Apply conditioner to in order to make smooth and shiny. I condition my hair after washing it. Establish a conditioned response. Put into a better state. He conditions old cars. A state at a particular time. The current status of the arms negotiations. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. He had the status of a minor. A fragment rubbed off by the use of a file. Preservation and methodical arrangement as of documents and papers, etc. I have some filing to do. The act of using a file, as in shaping or smoothing an object. The entering of a legal document into the public record. bending the head or body or knee as a sign of reverence or submission or shame or greeting. The act of obeying. Dutiful or submissive behavior with respect to another person. The act of obeying. Dutiful or submissive behavior with respect to another person. Behavior intended to please your parents. Their children were never very strong on obedience. The trait of being willing to obey. An abrupt failure of function or complete physical exhaustion. The commander's prostration demoralized his men. Abject submission. The emotional equivalent of prostrating your body. The act of assuming a prostrate position. The collection of rules imposed by authority. The great problem for jurisprudence to allow freedom while enforcing order. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. The learned profession that is mastered by graduate study in a law school and that is responsible for the judicial system. He studied law at Yale. A rule or body of rules of conduct inherent in human nature and essential to or binding upon human society. The collection of rules imposed by authority. Civilization presupposes respect for the law. The force of policemen and officers. The law came looking for him. The branch of philosophy concerned with the law and the principles that lead courts to make the decisions they do. A generalization that describes recurring facts or events in nature. The laws of thermodynamics. Legal document setting forth rules governing a particular kind of activity. There is a law against kidnapping.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.